Quality, self-respect. Now, this is often talked about more in the case of self-image or self-portrait. I like the word self-portrait because it's one stroke at a time, but it's really about self-respect. And the definition is one's self-image is the portrait that a person has of himself. Every human being has a portrait. The quote is, "You cannot perform in a manner inconsistent with the way you see yourself." Dr. Joyce Brothers. In other words, every person has at the back of their brain a portrait that they have of themselves. The most desired quality that anybody wants is respect. And this has been done in a survey. When you ask people what is it that they want more than anything else, they want to be respected. Respect is earned in only one manner. You must go through tough times and come out with your head held high. You've got to go through some adversity, and you've got to beat the adversity and become better because of it. The most respected student I ever knew in the years that I was a coach was a young man named Anthony Robles. Anthony Robles was a wrestler at Mesa High School in Mesa, Arizona. Anthony Robles was a state champion wrestler 2 years in a row, went to nationals, did not get offered a single scholarship to college, went to Arizona State University and walked on and became an NCAA national champion wrestler. Anthony Robles. And you may ask, why did he not get a scholarship offer? He only had one leg. Now, Anthony Robles was not feared. He was not envied. Nobody wished they only had one leg. Anthony Robles was the most respected person in that school, because he had been dealt a very difficult hand. When he was born with one leg. And instead of feeling sorry for himself and being on government help and doing all the things that he could have done, he went out and became a wrestler. We would go out there to work out in football, and the wrestling team always jogged a mile every day to begin their wrestling workout. And there at the back of the group was Anthony Robles, hopping on one leg. It's pretty difficult to be out there in football and say that your ankle hurts when you look over there and see Anthony Robles hopping on one leg for a mile. He had more self-respect. Here's the key thing about self-respect. Self-respect determines expectations. How much respect do you have for yourself? Obviously, self-respect, self-image, self-portrait determines to a great deal your success. At the age of 22 months, not 2 years old, all the neurons in your brain are formed. And from that day forward, everything said to you or everything said about you, every experience that you have puts a stroke on that portrait in your brain. That portrait is so important because that determines how you're going to perform. You will not perform in a manner that's different than the way you see yourself. And your self-respect is determined by that. Self-respect correlates exactly with the self-expectations. In other words, your level of self-respect is here. Your level of self-expectations are going to be here. Your level of self-respect goes up, your level of self-expectations goes up. You have high self-respect, you have high expectations. How do you improve self-respect? You don't ever quit. If I gave you 10 math problems to do, and you did 9 of them, nobody might know it except you. And what you lose is some self-respect because you didn't finish it. The head of the Navy SEALs said the most important thing you can do every day is make your bed. If you get up in the morning every day and make your bed, you have a chance to mend the world because you begin with a high level of self-respect. When I get up in the morning, I did something good. If you do things when other people don't, when somebody gives you 10 problems to do and you do all 10 problems, what you gain is self-respect. Now, don't confuse self-respect as if it's going to happen to you overnight. It comes in small pieces. And every day that you continue to do something, you gain self-respect. And the more self-respect that you have, the higher and the greater are your expectations of what you expect from yourself. So if you're an athlete, the more you do what you're told to do, the more commitment you have. Not compliance, but commitment. If you're supposed to do 3 sets of 5 and you do 5, 4, and 3, coach may never know it, but you know it. If you run almost full speed, coach may not know it, but you know it. And it all comes down to self-respect. How much self-respect do you have? And your self-respect comes from your willingness to go through a tough time with your head held high. Just like Anthony Robles. He got dealt a difficult hand. He had one leg. He became a state champion, a national champion. He's now a motivational speaker and has written a book named Anthony Robles. You can Google him. It's amazing what he did with his life, and he expected great things out of his life because he had so much self-respect. Probably the greatest quality you can develop of all these 30 qualities that we talk about is self-respect.